mind opening up the not that or whatever we were just doing. Mike. Mike, 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 Mike. I don't know why this is so much lower. Hold on one second.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple, and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
All right, Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. This is the Monday night scripture breakdown class. Let's give the Lord a hand. This class is, where we do in the ISUPK, where we do what your Christian pastors haven't been able to do for years. Since the inception of the Christian church. And that's not by accident. The reason why, the reason why we've been able to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible is because, it's several reasons, but, on this topic, the reason why we've been able to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible and the Christian church has not is because your Christian church has been governed by your oppressor since the beginning. I believe in past classes we talked about plantation churches, plantation slave churches, where your oppressor was the monitor, for lack of a better word, over the Christian church. Which is why when you ask a Christian, does God love everybody? They'll say, oh yeah. And then you go into the Bible and show them where God, or you ask them, does God hate? And they'll say, oh no, God doesn't hate. God loves everybody. And then you show them in the Bible where God hates. And even though they're seeing it with their own eyes, they're seeing that in Romans chapter 9, verse 13, where it says, God hates. they're reading that the Most High has the ability to hate. They can't comprehend that the Most High hates a people and loves another people. Even though when they read in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, where they say the Most High has put us above all nations, or He has put a people above all nations upon the face of the earth. Even though a Christian will read that, they can't comprehend or they can't accept that, the Most High can love one people or prefer one people over the other. You know what I mean? Well, we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. You know what I mean? So if you got it with that, you got any questions? Or comments? You can put them in the chat, and we'll answer all your questions, solve all your problems. You know what I mean? Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share with your loved ones, share with all your friends. Whether you agree or disagree, it don't matter. Share it with your loved ones, share it with everybody, and even if you a heckler in the chat, go ahead share it with your. I don't know what y'all. I can't comprehend. People who make what they call them burner accounts. Make burner account after burner account. Brother got 3-4 accounts coming in here commenting nonsense. No sweat. I don't know what y'all do. I don't know if y'all got a group chat or y'all get together on weekends for brunch or whatever. I don't know what y'all do. But share with your peoples. So y'all can get in here, ask your questions and all of that, or make your comments. No sweat. And if you're not watching live, then morning, noon, and night, you can hit that QR code in the top corner. Morning, noon, and night, there'll be a brother in that chat to solve all your problems and answer all your questions. All right. Right. You said you had a question, right?
Con on the one con.
All right. You go ahead. What was your question? Salaki.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 14
Okay.
to
No sweat.
15. Your new moons are your appointed feast, my soul hated.
Mm-hmm.
They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. Verse 15. And ye spread forth your hands. I will hide mine eyes from you. Ye, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood.
Mm-hmm. All right. Go up to. Let's read verse. As a matter of fact, let's take it from the top. Isaiah 1 and we start at verse 1. Go ahead, read it.
Con one con. The visions of Isaiah, the son of.
It's like it. This is your only question. You have more questions?
That was the only one.
Okay. If you think of any more questions or anything like that, please do ask. But until any questions till any more questions come up, you go ahead and read from the top. Slack.
Con one con. The visions of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which ye saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jonathan of Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah,
Kings of what?
king of Judah.
Okay, so this is important. Anytime like your Christian pastors, first of all, whenever they breeze over like lineages, because why? Because they wanna try to make the Bible broad. You know what I mean? They want to try to make the Bible fit everybody, whether it's Old Testament or New Testament or Apocrypha. They want to try to make the Bible encompass every nation, and that's just not the truth. What you got?
Like what you're saying is heavy, because like growing up in the Christian church, I just kind of ain't think the Bible was history. Like I related more to the history that I was taught in school and looked at that as realistic of actually was what was going on. But when it came to the Bible, I didn't look at the Bible as realistic. I just looked at it as kind of like a story that was,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't vivid to me. It was just like a story.
Con. And that's the whole point. Slack it. You mind grab me one of them UPK coasters on there, on that shelf? Them little round. It should be in the yeah, the water. I don't want to mess up this suede. I mean, this fresh green suede that Officer Karab, I believe, Officer Tapazar ribbed and made this by hand. But now that's the point though. Like you read it from Christian eyes, like, and I have a similar memory to what you just said, where I was reading these lineages when I was younger, and I was just like, all right, skip me to the what's skip let's skip over these. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I used to skip over the lineages, but the reason why these lineages are brought up is because, you know what I mean, everything about this Bible is talking about is referring to a specific bloodline. Like it's so spiritual that at the top of pretty much each chapter, like when you read these scriptures, at the top of most chapters, it starts off with the sons of Abraham, Isaac, or and Jacob, the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, the Israelites. It starts off with the kings of Judah, like what we read in Isaiah, the first chapter at the top. You know what I mean? It's so spiritual that most chapters start off at I mean, the first chapter and the first verse, it starts off identifying who this is talking to. You know what I mean? You read the New Testament, which is the Christian church's bread and butter of how they try to use the scriptures to try to make it encompass every nation. It starts off. You need a new pen. You good? Okay, there you. It's one right here. I don't know how well it. Is you 12 or you need this? Okay, that's all. But the New Testament, especially, I mean, it starts off with who, you know what I mean, this is pertaining to. And this is no different. You know what I mean? It's pertaining to the kings of Judah. It's pertaining to our people. I mean, go ahead, read on.
Verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, from the Lord have spoken. I have nurtured and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me.
And what's so heavy about the book of Isaiah, and there's a lot of prophecies about Christ in the book of Isaiah. And which is fitting because Isaiah 1:1 is saying kings of Judah. You know what I mean? What tribe did the most or did Christ spring from? I just or anybody in the chat? Or you
Tribe of Judah.
Con, yeah. So this is about to be a prophecy. These are the early books of Isaiah is a prophecy against the children or the children of the tribe of Judah. I mean, because we was prideful, we was, you know what I mean. Well, we'll just go ahead and read on. You know what I mean? We had deviated from the Most High God. We had deviated from our culture. We didn't, you know what I mean. Go ahead.
Verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner,
Mm-hmm.
and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do it not know. My people do it not consider. Verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupted. They are forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backward.
Mm-hmm. And this is heavy because Judah was the inheritor of, you know what I mean, Israel. So the firstborn of the children of Israel was Reuben, but he lost his inheritance because what he did to his father, right? So instead of Reuben getting the inheritance, Judah was put in a position of firstborn, all right? And we've become a nation of, we became a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers. Like this is, we getting chastised, and I mean, we getting told about ourselves basically. So like, yeah, let me see if I can fix this microphone. Oh no, it's like you too. I'm just move it down a little bit. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 5. Why should we be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises, and purifying scars. So like your sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Verse 7, your country is desolated. Your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour in it, your presence, and it is desolated, as overthrown by strangers. Verse 8, and the daughters of Zion is left as cottage in a vineyard, as a log in a garden of cucumber, as a besieged city.
So this is just talking about the condition of our people. You know what I mean? Just the condition of our nation. Like how far off we deviated from the Most High. Like our culture. Like, you know what I mean? You look at right now. Like we supposed to be the what's it called? The example, for lack of a better word. We supposed to be a nation that's set on high above all nations upon the face of the earth. You know what I mean? These other nations supposed to look at us for wisdom and understanding. And, you know what I mean? You got Sexy Red. You know what I mean? You got like the sons of athletes. Like, what's his name? Dwayne Wade. And what's the other one? You know what I mean? Dwayne Wade, his son is now, he got to call his son his daughter. You know what I mean? 6'3", you know what I mean? 200 pounds in stilettos, cracking up the concrete. What you got?
Wakanda, just heavy that you say that we're supposed to be looked at as high and holy people, but it's just the spirit that the Lord put on us. That it's the spirit that the Lord gave us. We still looked at as a high stature of people, but just not in the spirit of the Most High that we supposed to be looked at. So it's just heavy what you're bringing out.
And Most High in Christ, and that's to your question, like. How can we slack? Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get to it. Where was we at? Where'd you stop at? What verse?
I stopped at verse 8.
Go to verse 10.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. Verse 11.
So we get compared to the people that were in Sodom and Gomorrah that was destroyed. You know what I mean, because that's the as a matter of fact, read verse 9 real quick, because this will give you a little context of why we being compared.
Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us as very small remnant, we shall have been as Sodom.
We should have what?
We should have been as Sodom.
Now you know the fate that Sodom suffered, right?
Go
ahead, read on. I'm gonna break it down in a second, but go ahead, just.
And ye should have been like unto Gomorrah.
So you saying you don't know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Salaki.
Okay, yeah, no sweat. What? Go ahead.
Give you a breakdown.
Yeah, just
pretty
a
much they was
little synopsis. Yeah,
like they was. I don't want to say that. Can I say that word? That was of the LGBTQ community. Yeah, they was doing things of that nature.
And then what happened? What was the end of Sodom and Gomorrah? I damn near gave it to you.
Damn. They got destroyed.
And that's the, you know what I mean, that's what Isaiah is saying. He said we should have ended up like, we should have been like Sodom. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for their iniquity and for their persistent iniquity. Like you look at again today, like these scriptures are living. I mean, you look at our brothers and sisters today where we insist on being as evil and disgusting and nasty as possible. You know what I mean? Like we insist on it. Like we refuse to, you know what I mean? Good night. Yeah, I damn near don't even want to give any examples. It's just so disgusting. Like we hate each other. Like it's a battle of the sexes right now, where everything that you see on social media is geared to show how black men hate black women and black women hate black men. You know about the trend. It was older, but it started to resurface about what would you like. That people was asking black women who would they rather be trapped in the woods with, a bear or a black man, and our sisters are like a bear. They would rather be in the woods with a bear. And what you want to expound on it, or you tore up?
Yeah, kind of one kind. Yeah, I did see that video. Yeah, man, it's just heavy. The way the oppressor has Salakia.
It's all good, man. I understand, and it's like we like our that's the condition. That's the condition of our people. Like that's enough said right there. Like that's just how we are. And the men, you know what I mean, the sisters are trained, especially on social media, because that's not reality. You know what I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not reality. Our brothers and our sisters love one another. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans really do love one another. But I'm just from a social media aspect. You look on social media, and it's nothing but Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans being trained to hate one another. You know what I mean? You see these podcasts, like you see these pop the balloon challenges, these gold digger challenges. You know what I mean? These it was another trend a couple months ago where it was talking about uh it was like 10, 20 places that's unacceptable for a black man to take a black woman on a first date. And it was a lot of the things on that list was some places that 80% of black people can't even afford. You know what I mean? You'll maybe eat there at one time, you know what I mean, in your lifetime. But point is, you look on social media, it's just sisters and talking about how they hate black men and how you can't trust the black men and how we should, you know what I mean, our sisters should get themselves a man of a different nation. And then vice versa. I can't count how many podcasts there are available talking about not only how much our sisters hate black men, but how much black men hate sisters. You know what I mean? And it's just that's all you see on social media. And then you look at our superstars. You know what I mean? The only way a black man can get out of the hood, you know what I mean, the condition that black or that our oppressor put black people in, is to either what they say. They say rap, sell dope, or go to NBA. You know what I mean? Go to the NFL. That's the only way we can hope to get out of this condition. You know what I mean? But we've been trained to hate each other, you know what I mean? And our sisters, you know what I mean? Our sisters have found a way, you know what I mean, where they every time I look up, it's a naked sister online. Or it's, you know what I mean? These sisters is trying to train up our young daughters to make a living on OnlyFans and on stripper poles and you know what I mean, whore themselves out. You know what I mean, that's what this is describing right here. Go ahead, read on. So for that, you know what I mean, that's the whole like if you read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, like the them two cities, they had became so evil and so destroyed and so left field that you know what I mean, the most high was just like it's time for them to go. Like you'll read if you read the as a matter of fact, you wanna go to it real quick?
Kind of one kind.
Let's go to Genesis. Let me see if I can find it. Salakia. Give me 1 second. Genesis 13 and 13.
Kind of one kind. The book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 13. But the man of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly, exceedingly, exceeding,
exceedingly.
Salakia.
So that was the reputation of Sodom and Gomorrah. Salaki, let me see if I can. Let's go to Genesis 19 real quick. Genesis 19. So, just to give you the backdrop, right? And Salakia, a Shalom Yahal Bashim, or Salakia, Shalom Yahal Shamar Lathan Bashim Yahal Shah. See you, Dashana checking in. It's been a while. And then sister, who is that? Kanai out of Houston. You know what I mean? Shalom, Lord in Christ, Most High in Christ. Good to have y'all sisters. If y'all got any questions as well or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. Baba Kashai. You know what I mean, we don't want y'all to just check in and then clock out. I mean, if y'all got any questions or comments, please do put them in the chat. All right. But where was we at? Genesis 19.
Kind of one.
So give the backdrop. So basically, Abraham and Lot was like, you know what I mean, they was traveling together, they was moving around together, and they had acquired so much that they had to split. You know what I mean? Like they started to come into conflict, or like the people who was like their servants, the servants of Lot started to come into conflict with the servants of Abraham. And Yabashim Yashabrakta. You know what I mean? They started to come into conflict. They started to, you know what I mean, fuel one another. So they was like, you know what I mean, for the sake of brotherhood, you go that way or whatever. It was like whatever way you go, I'll go the opposite way. So if you go to the east, I'll go to the west. You know what I mean? And you can do your thing, you can expand and all of that just for the sake of brotherhood. All right. So Lot chose to go in a certain direction that was right next. And he set up camp next to Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? So he ended up in Sodom and Gomorrah. And Sodom and Gomorrah was evil. Like they was just disgusting. It was like America. You know what I mean? Like how modern day, like in the scriptures it say that paraphrasing, it compares America to, it says that this land that we live in, America, is modern day Babylon, Sodom, and Egypt. You know what I mean? Which was nations of people that are notorious in the Bible for being destroyed. You know what I mean, at the hand of the Most High. All right, but you go ahead read on. Slack it. Where what verse was you in?
Kind of one. We didn't get a verse yet.
Okay, no sweat. Slack it. I just want to make sure. Okay, so let's see. So the Most High is trying to, or I believe it's Abraham that's pleading with the Most High to spare Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Abraham is pleading with the Most High to spare Sodom and Gomorrah. And but Abraham is pleading with the Most High to spare Sodom and Gomorrah. And he said, "Well, if I could find 50 that are righteous, would you spare them?" And then he worked them all the way down to I think it's like 10. But that's where we at right now. All right, now we seeing, you know what I mean? So the Most High sends angels. He sent 2 angels to, you know what I mean, scope it out, to investigate what's going on down here. If there's these, you know what I mean, righteous men down here. So that's let's start at verse 2. Or verse 1. 19 and 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even.
So this is where we landed after the whole backdrop that I just gave. You understand, right? Okay, no sweat. All right, go ahead.
And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them.
All right, so Lot came up and rose to meet them because it was our custom as you know what I mean, blacks. It was our custom to be hospitable. So he saw these men and he went to meet them, and he go ahead.
And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the streets all night.
Because these was angels, right? And they had a mission. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
All right, go ahead. Verse 5. So these angels came into Lot's house. Go ahead. This is now we're about to get into the reputation of how evil Sodom and Gomorrah was. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 4.
Verse 5.
Salaki, verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came unto thee this night?
You know what? Slacker, read verse 4.
Before the day lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house of round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So I'm gonna ask you, Itazagabor. So these angels went into Lot's house, right? What's happening in verse 4? You want to read it again?
But they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of
Started from the top again.
Verse 1. Book of Genesis.
From the top of verse 4.
Before they lay down.
Before they lay down, right? So he's inviting these men into the house, but before they lay down, go ahead.
The men of the city, even the man of Sodom.
Right. So the men of Sodom, go ahead.
Compassed the house of round.
You know what that means? Compass the house around.
Compass.
Let me see. I don't want to give it to you. Might just have to. They compass the house right to compass. Look up compass in your phone. All right, that might help you out a little bit. And because the language is a little different and like the why you getting that because the language is a little different in the Bible because it comes from 1611 English, it's good to get into the habit of like when you see certain words that you don't normally use in your regular everyday language or whatever the case is, it's good to get in the habit of just looking up these words so that you can, because this is going to give you the context to be able to understand the Bible. And the little, because it's the little details that kind of like trip us up. Like we'll be reading and then we'll see a little detail, or like it'll be a word that we don't see in it or understand, and then that'll trip us up. So now we don't understand what we reading. You got it? Okay, go ahead, read what you got.
The act of surrounding, encircling.
Okay, so the act of surrounding, encircling. So read verse 4 again.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round.
So now do you know what's going on?
Go
ahead, break it down.
Pretty much the angels went into the house and surrounded the man of Sodom.
Well, the men of Sodom, the angels are in the house. So the angels went inside the house with Lot. And they're about to lay down and get some rest. And before the angels and Lot laid down, read verse 4 again.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the man of Sodom.
Who?
Even the man of Sodom.
So this is talking about what the men of Sodom did, what the people of the city did. So the angels and Lot are inside the house. And the people of the city are about to do something. You with me so far? All right, go ahead, read on.
Even the men of Sodom compassed around, both old and young.
Okay, so what are the men of Sodom doing?
Pretty much circling up.
That's what's happening. So Lot just brought these two angels that look like men. He brought them in the house. And the men of Sodom and Gomorrah are surrounding this house. Read that last part you just read again. Both what?
Both old and young,
So both old and young. So the young people and the old people. Go ahead.
and all the people from every quarter.
And everybody that lived there, right? They surrounding the house. You know what I mean? You look at modern day society, because remember, we talking about Isaiah the first chapter, which is where Sodom and Gomorrah is mentioned. And and like this is look if you look at modern day, like when you want to understand the Bible, especially like prophecies, you can a lot of times you can look at like modern day society. Like like right now, like you look at, you know what I mean? You know what Sodom and Gomorrah are known for? Or actually we reading it right now. Actually, let's go ahead and read on before I break this down. Go ahead, verse 5.
Kind of one come.
So
Verse
the old and the young, Salakia, the old and the young are surrounding this house with Lot and these two men on the inside. Go ahead.
kind of one come. Verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, we are the man which
What is-
came in to this night.
so he's saying, where are the men which came into thee this night? He's like, where are the men at that you just brought in? You see what's about to happen?
Kind of one come.
Okay. Go ahead, break it. Go ahead, break it down.
Pretty much they surrounded the house and they asking Sodom and the angels to come out.
Okay. No sweat. Go ahead and come out to do what? Go ahead, read on.
Where are the men which came into the night?
So,
Bring them out into us,
so they asking Lot, where them two men y'all just brought up in here? Bring them out so we can do what?
that we may know them.
That we may what?
That we may know them.
Do you know what that means? Look up carnal knowledge in your phone. Yeah, you could go ahead and read it when you got it. I don't like that. I don't know if we could put that on the screen.
Carnal knowledge means sexual intercourse.
Uh-huh. What does it mean?
Sexual intercourse.
So go back to verse 5.
Kind of one come. And they called unto Lot and said unto him,
Uh-huh.
we are the men which came in thee.
He's saying, where are the men?
Salakia, where are the men which came into thee
Mm-hmm.
this night? Bring them out unto us. They we may know them.
So when they say bring them out to us that we may know them, what are they saying?
So that they can have sexual intercourse with them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. That's the reputation of Sodom and Gomorrah. Or the Most High sent angels to Sodom and Gomorrah for Abraham's sake, on behalf of Abraham. Because Abraham is like, okay, if we could find some righteous men in Sodom and Gomorrah, would you spare them? You know what I mean? Abraham is trying to get Sodom and Gomorrah spared. So the Most High sent angels. You know what I mean? And Lot being, you know what I mean, the brother, you know what I mean, being around Abraham and being the brother that he is, he's being hospitable. So he invites these angels inside. And while they're inside, the entire city of Sodom surrounds the house like a SWAT, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like a sting operation, like SWAT. You know what I mean? They surrounding the house, but it ain't, you know, never mind. but they surrounding the house and they like, where the men at that you just brought in here? Bring them outside so that we can know them. I mean, you just read the definition of carnal knowledge. So that's the reputation of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the reputation. All right. So, now let's go back to Isaiah the first chapter. Where was he at? And I'll go back there with you. Isaiah 1 and So that's the reputation. So that's why this is being brought up right here in verse 10. Hey, Salaki. Hey, how about Shem Yahshua Brakatha? You know what I mean? Officer Yawash, I see you checking in. You know what I mean? Salaki, you go ahead, Itazar.
Con on one con. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 14. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hated.
Hit verse 10 real quick. We're gonna get to your question. I know your question is in verse 14 and 15. But I just wanna or you said 14 and 15 or 13 and 14? Which one was it?
14 and 15.
Okay, no sweat. Hit verse 10 real quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 10. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom.
Mm-hmm.
Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah.
Right. So the Most High is comparing the people of Israel, God's chosen people, to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? That's why in verse 9 it's saying that the nation of Israel should have received, you know what I mean, should have been in Sodom and should have been like Gomorrah. I mean, because we were just as evil as the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Like we was reading in Genesis, the 19th chapter, where the old and the young were when they compassed around the house, when they circled the house, it was the old and the young. You look at today's society, you got you know what I mean, LGBTQ communities in the, you know what I mean, whether they young, whether they 6 or 7 years old, or whether they 86 and 87 years old. You know what I mean? You got sodomites everywhere. You know what I mean? Of all ages. And that's how we've become as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean, go ahead. What'd you just read? You just read verse 10.
Con one con.
All right, go ahead, read on.
Verse 11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, said the Lord? I am full of the burnt offering of rams, and the fat of the feed beast,
the fed beast,
of the fed beast, and delight not in the blood of the bullocks, of lambs, or of the goat, or of he goats.
So the whole purpose, like when you read about in the book of, or in the Torah, rather, in the Torah, when you read about like animal sacrifice and things like that, that was supposed to be a deterrent. Like how you, like if you go out and speed, you get a speeding ticket. That's supposed to be a deterrent. But you know what we was doing? We was going out and speeding, and when we get pulled over, we just paying the ticket. I mean, we paying the fine. We just like, you know, man, I got it. I got bread. You know what I mean? So we like that. What was supposed to be a deterrent really just didn't really mean anything. So that's what this is talking about right here. Like, what's the, you know what I mean? This is, the point wasn't to, like, this is, the Most High isn't like America. Like, America, they set up, like, I don't know if y'all use Google Maps, but they got speed traps. You know what I mean? They set up speed traps where they set up laws to try to catch you up because they want your money. You know what I mean? The Most High is not like that. He sets up like the penalty for like speeding or like, you know what I mean, breaking the law for, you know what I mean, not having your seatbelt on, not drinking and driving. The whole point of those laws and those penalties for breaking those laws is to deter you from breaking those laws. You know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean, that's what the animal sacrifice is for. But we treated it like it was just like we were preparing to sin. Like, okay, I'm about to go sleep with this man's wife. So let me go ahead and set this bullock aside. Let me go ahead and set this goat aside. You know what I mean? So that I could commit this sin and then atone for it. So the Most High, basically, he like, man, I don't want none of that. Go ahead. It's like you please anytime if you wanna go ahead.
Oh, Salakia. Verse 12. When ye come to appear before me, who have required this at your hands, to thread my courts,
A tread.
or tread my courts,
Go ahead.
verse 13. Bring no more vain oblations.
So that's what I was just talking about. Like these things that like these supposed to be deterrents and to atone for, you know what I mean, the things that we did to offend one another or to offend the Most High. But we was just like we was doing it in vain. Go ahead.
And since is an abomination upon unto me.
So because we was doing it in you know what I mean, a spirit of planning on like we because we was doing it in such an evil spirit like this, like the sacrifice that we made and the atonements and all of that and the everything that we was doing, it was all in vanity because we was just like these other nations. I mean, we was the like it says the like Salakia. Where does it say keep therefore and do them for this is your wisdom and understand. What is that? Deuteronomy 4? Yeah, kind of. So in Deuteronomy chapter 4, it says like Moses said, I've taught you these laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your understanding, your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. You know what I mean? Us keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments is supposed to be our wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. Where they supposed to look at us and it's like if you could pull that up. Where it says you go to verse 7 if you don't mind.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 7. For what nation is there so great who has God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him?
So the whole point of these laws, statutes, and commandments is for these other nations to see. Where I put that mic at? Oh, I put it over there. But the whole point of these laws, statutes, and commandments is for these other nations to look at us as a wise and understanding people. You know what I mean? And to credit the Most High. Like, what nation is this to where the Most High loves them over us? Right. You know what I mean? What nation is this to where the Most High is so close to them? It's because they supposed to look at us not eating pork, right? Not being LGBTQ members, not what's the you know what I mean, not doing all these, not celebrating Christmas, not doing all these evil things. And they supposed to look at us like, dang, they are wise and understanding. Right. You know what I mean? What God is what who is these people to where the Most High is so close to them? You know what I mean? The one true living God. You know what I mean? These other nations, these other religions, or we take the Muslims, the Arabs, you know what I mean? They got a rock. You know what I mean? Christians, they got a cross. Right. They got a piece of wood to pray to. You know what I mean? They got a white face. They got an oppressor's face to bow down to and pray to every time they feel, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They I don't know what Christians feel, to be honest. But you know what I mean? They got nothing. They got vanity. Right. But the Most High gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments. So he gave us instructions. You know what I mean? He hasn't dealt with any other nation. He gave us instructions on how to be better than these other nations. Right. You know what I mean? But in this time in the book of Isaiah, we was just like, we was throwing it away. We wasn't keeping the law, and we was, you know what I mean, we was just making sacrifice to the Most High just to, you know what I mean, just to do it. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Where was you? Isaiah. Verse 13.
Kind of one kind. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies. I cannot away with it. With it is iniquity. Even the solemn meeting. Verse 14. Your new moons and your appointed feast, my soul hated. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them.
So what this is talking about, so what's the purpose of us keeping our feast days? What's the purpose of us pretending like we Israelites? You know what I mean? Like you see what's his name? I don't even want to call him. What's a slave name? what cap did I call him? Glorilla Shebrew. You know what I mean? He rightfully, you know what I mean, this is the only thing that he did correctly. You know what I mean? Stepping down. Right. But he did it in such a feminine way. You know what I mean? Where he like, he basically put the onus on Israelites. You know what I mean? And he like the, you know what I mean? I don't even like saying Israelite community is half LGBTQ, to be honest. But he put the accountability on so-called Israelites, like people who call themselves Israelites. And he was like, yeah, I don't identify. Oh my God. Like I damn near don't even want to say it because it sounds LGBTQ. Like he was in the spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah. Like what we reading about in Isaiah the first chapter, that's talking about Glorilla Hebrew. You know what I mean? Where it's like he's like, oh, I don't identify as a Hebrew Israelite because they just hypocrites and they pick and choose what laws they want to follow and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? As he's picking and choosing what laws he want to follow. You know what I mean? But he's so called what was it, 2, 3, 4 years ago? He was in a strip club. Can I say strip club? He was in a strip club, you know what I mean, having a so-called Passover. And then he was supposed to step down then.
Right.
That would have been mercy from the Lord. If he would have stepped down right then after he had that so-called Passover in that strip club, that would have been mercy from the Lord. But he said that as if he's just like he's a bystander.
Right.
As if he's not as if he wasn't the head of a popular fake Israelite group. He's like, yeah, it's so much hypocrisy, and they pick and choose while he's celebrating the Passover in the strip club. You know what I mean? And then he says he's gonna step down, and then doesn't step down,
Right.
and then it comes out that he's being pegged in his behind by his wife, and instead of taking ownership for the disgusting behavior that he's doing, as the head of the what is it? What was Sakari? As the head of Sakari, instead of taking accountability for what he was doing as the head of Sakari, he first blamed what's his name, Arya Allah, I believe his name is, and he didn't confirm or deny anything. He just was like, well, you said this about me. What about you?
Right.
What about what you was doing with your wife? You slept with another man. Like he tried to expose another brother, just like the Christian church does. You know what I mean? This is what what's the point of you having a Passover if you're gonna have it in the strip club?
Right.
That's what this is talking about.
Right.
Like what are you? I don't want it. You know what I mean? The Most High don't want it. You know what I mean? What are you sacrificing these you know what I mean these animals for? Because during the first Passover and when we was getting out in Egypt, you know what I mean, that was a symbol of, you know what I mean, the children of Israel being obedient to the Most High. You know what I mean, as he's getting us out of captivity. You know what I mean? So he doesn't the curse, the plague that he puts over Egypt passes over the children of Israel.
Right.
That's supposed to mean something. But now you fast forward to the book of Isaiah. Now I'm about to just slaughter this lamb so that I can sleep with this man's wife and then be like, my bad, bro. So you can be like, oh, we all fall short.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the point of what's the verses that you was asking about. You understand? You had
Kind of one kind.
and any more questions or that was it?
That was it. That was it.
Speaking of Salakia, I'm going to that all have fallen short. Salakia, let me find it real quick. Bear with me. We Most High Christ. You know what? 23. We. All right. You might go into Aitas Akabar. You might go into Romans chapter 3 and verse 23.
Kind of one kind. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 23. Salakia. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God.
All right. So this is a favorite. This is a favorite of the Christians. You know what I mean? The Christian pastors. I mean, so I got a question. You know what I mean? Since there ain't no question, is there any questions in the chat for?
See, no questions in the chat as of now.
Okay, no sweat. Since ain't no question, I got a question. So Romans 3. You know what I mean? This I'm past the KC. You know what I mean? And what that say? Read that, brother.
Con on the one con. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why. I mean, this is why we can. I mean, this is why them Israelites that's on them corners, man. That's why it's so wrong that they trying to judge us. They trying to judge Christians. Can you believe it? It's unbelievable, man. But we all come short, fall short of the glory of God. You know what I mean? So you can't judge. You can't judge because you're a sinner just like I'm a sinner. You know what this scripture talking about, Aita Zakabor?
People transgression against Salakia, transgression against the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Specifically, what about it? Because this Christians use this. You know what I mean? I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian right now. And this when I read this, I'm gonna read it. Romans 3 and 23. For all for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So that means you sin, I sin. Can't nobody be perfect, brother. Can't nobody be perfect. That's what it's saying right here. What you got, Aitazah?
Gonna one come. Pretty much they saying that the law is done away with. All you gotta do is just have faith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ain't that true? Ain't that the truth?
That's not the truth.
That's what it say right here. That's what it say right here in Romans 3 and 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Mm-hmm. Verse 24, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Hallelujah. That means I can eat all the pork that I want to. All the shrimp, all the crab, all the lobster. I could celebrate Christmas because we have all sinned, brother.
Well,
So like you got the brother in the chat said that scripture is talking about your past sins.
Ooh-wee. Give that brother a hand. Break it down, y'all. I see you. Break it down. Give me something more. And this is go ahead. What you got?
The book of First John chapter. Book of First John chapter 3 and 8 says, "He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning."
But we in Romans 3. Why you run all the way to John?
Precept upon precept, line upon line.
See, this is what these Israelites do. They run. See, we get it. We go to a scripture, and these Israelites just be running. See, that's why you need to come the first Episcopalian Ebenezer. What? See what? I'm gonna get off your road, Aitazah. Hey, get Aitazah a bar hand. You know what I mean? And that was an excellent precept. That was an excellent precept, and it was a cut to a Christian because now you're challenging what you know. What I mean, the Christian. Well, what the sister say?
Sister says, so like you said, they think grace covers them.
Yeah. Oh, it does. According to Romans 3 and 23 or 24, being justified freely by his grace. That's what it say right there.
And then Yawash gave you an answer. He said, Christ died for that.
Die for what? Before I get Christian. You gotta give me more than that, Yawash. But and what was I saying? But no, what you said, the precept that you just brought out, that is a cut to what Christians believe. But to be able to, okay, so one thing General Muhammad say all the time is he hasn't won a battle until his enemy agrees with him. All right. So when you're Christian, and another thing you got to remember is your enemy, if they don't believe what's in this Bible, they will absolutely agree with you. If you understand this Bible, they will agree with you because the Bible says one thing. The Bible is about one thing. It's about the story of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans all throughout. And the Most High never joined himself to any other nation. He's never dealt with any other nation. He never loved any other nation. He's never given a covenant to any other nation. So that's a precept that you could go to. But before you go to any other precept, you got to cut them here first. And go back to Romans 3 and verse 23, and that's why what Yawash said was absolutely correct, because well, I'll just let you read it, right? Because what Christians say is all sin and fall short of the glory of God. That's what Christians say when they regurgitate this scripture. And I don't know what the NIV or the NKJV or the New Living, I don't know what the NLV, I don't know what these other versions say. But when a Christian reads this scripture, their mind goes to we all sin and fall short. But that's not what this scripture says. Right. Go ahead, read that again and read it. Just read it. Read it slow. Take your time with it so that we can point out what this is actually saying and the difference between a Christian mind and what this Bible is talking about.
Con on the one con. The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 23. Mm-hmm. For all have sinned.
For all what?
For all have sinned.
No, for all sin.
For all have sinned.
That's what you want to do. Read that again. Exactly how you just read it.
Con on one con. For all have sinned.
Now, we all sin, right? That's what a Christian going to do. They're going to say, we all sin and fall short. What did that say?
We all have sinned.
That's what you want to emphasize. Go ahead.
And come short of the glory of God.
So we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of this verse right here. Like, we all, the reason why we need this mercy, go ahead, read verse 24.
Con one con, verse 24. Being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus.
So the only way that we can be justified, or like Captain Katazai just broke down, be made just, the only way that we can be made just or be made right, be made, you know what I mean, to keep the law, do what's right, like be the wisdom and understanding in the sight of the other nations. The only way that we can do that again is by the mercy and the grace, the time period, because that's what grace means, is through the time period that the Most High, through Christ's death, that the Most High gave us to give us a time period to be able to clean ourselves up. All right. But that's the whole point of that. A Christian will read that and they'll be like, oh, we all fall short, like right now. And that's their excuse right now to continue to be filthy, to continue to be disgusting. That's why, you know what I mean, you got these Epstein files on lock. You know what I mean, don't nobody, everybody Trump was on Twitter. You know what I mean? I believe it was a week or two ago. He was hot on Twitter. You know what I mean? And it reminded me, when I was seeing it, it reminded me of like a brother or sister. You know, there's no such thing as cheating in the, you know what I mean, when you're a brother in the truth. But it reminded me of a brother in the world who sleeping around with women and not keeping none of them. When they finally get caught, they start playing the victim. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Let me see. Trump. So Trump was fed up and he tweeted about like people pressing his administration about releasing the Epstein files. Let me see if I wish I'd have found it before Salakia. But he was absolutely angry. I believe so. I don't know if he might have deleted it by then because he was hot. But basically, like it didn't even just Trump. It didn't even just Trump. Like if we can't find it, it's his. You know what I mean? The people that he put over. You know what I mean? He went in during his what's it called? During his campaign, he was talking about, oh yeah, y'all gonna release the Epstein file, this, that, and the third. Like it's like he was talking about you know what I mean, doing what everybody wanted him to do. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, Biden didn't do it for whatever. He didn't do it during his administration, but I can do things that Biden couldn't do, this, that, and the third, and now he's up to bat. And now everybody is talking about keeping the keeping the Epstein file, or saying basically that the Epstein files, releasing the Epstein files is, you know what I mean, no point because no, that's not. But everybody basically saying that releasing the Epstein files will be pointless because, and I General Muhammad brought it out in class as well. I should have brought it should have found a video. But he's saying that it's pointless to bring out the Epstein files because it'll hurt so many people. It'll hurt so many powerful people. You know what I mean, that's how you get so far gone. When now you got Diddy freak offs, and now you got Epstein Island that's dedicated to you know what I mean, the what's it called, the assault of, you know what I mean, all manner of disgusting behavior on them Epstein files. You know what I mean, or on that Epstein Island. You know what I mean? But that's how you get so far gone. Because your Christian churches and everybody in America is a Christian. Everybody in America is a Christian. Donald Trump is a Christian. Biden was a Christian. Obama was a Christian. Every police officer, they're a Christian. Every police officer that takes the lives of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're a Christian. You know what I mean? What's his name? Tyler Perry's a Christian. What's the naked piano man name? Bro name. Kirk Franklin. He a Christian. I mean, every sexual deviant, every Christian, or every sexual deviant, every LGBTQ community person, you know what I mean, they're Christians. And that's how you get so far gone, because the Christian church teaches that Romans 3:23 means that everybody could keep sinning because we all fall short. We all sin. You know what I mean, that's why when Christians approach us, or anybody outside of the ISUPK, they approach men in the school, they approach us at camp, and they like, and we say we perfect, they look at us with the side eye, or they automatically think that we're arrogant. We're not arrogant. We just follow what's in the Bible. And what the Most High is saying, like, it's not hard. Salakia. Let's go to commandments are not grievous. What is that? Salakia. But I mean, it's not hard not to be an LGBTQ. Most on Christ. It's not hard to not be an LGBTQ member. You know what I mean? It's not hard to not rob your brother. I mean, to consider your brother. It's not hard to not. There's so many women out here. What do you got to sleep with your brother's woman for? You know what I mean? It's not hard to not be, what's it called? A promiscuous woman. But Christianity makes it, or Christianity paints it to where not only is it difficult, but it's impossible not to be these things. Right. That's why when you know what I mean, when our sisters first start to become women, or they start to first get into the quote unquote dating world, if a young black, Hispanic, or Native American woman decided that they wanted to marry the first person that they slept with, what's the first thing? The first thing that the black, Hispanic, and Native American mother is going to tell that daughter is, you moving too fast. Explore your sexuality, experiment. You know what I mean? You don't go to college for education no more. You go to college to experience and explore your sexuality and have these experiences and all of that. You know what I mean? If a sister decided she want to marry the first man that she lay with, which is absolutely righteous, and stay with that brother, they're gonna be absolutely discouraged by who? Not by, you know what I mean? Not by you know what I mean? They're gonna be discouraged by their mother, by their own mother, by their own grandmother, by their own father. You know what I mean? And that's because of the Christian church. And the Christian church is everywhere. Like I know there's a large exodus out of the Christian church right now, or just quote unquote religion right now. But what you got to realize is once you leave that Christian church, Christianity is everywhere. Like you got to remember when you come into the truth, you're about, you know what I mean? When I've been here almost, I'm going on 6 years. You know what I mean, brother, especially when you first come up in here, you've been in the truth for maybe about a week or two. You do your 90 days. You've been in the truth for 90 days, maybe a couple months. That person that you was in the world, everything that you've been taught up until then, they're 20 something years old, 15 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. You know what I mean? So when you come into the truth, first thing you got to realize is Christianity is everywhere. Were you about to say something, Itazai?
Kind of one con. What you saying is heavy because it made me think about the war class last week, like what Eve did, like what you pretty much was saying, like how the mother don't want the woman to be with the first man that she lay down with. She tell you, well, you're too young, experience more life. Kind of like with the serpent, like being in the like the woman being in the midst of the garden, pretty much picking up customs of other men instead of being with that man that she first lay down with. They want you to pick up other customs and pick up other brothers' character and analyze them when you're supposed to just, the woman's supposed to, like how Eve was supposed to just be with Adam. But the mothers, they want you to go out and experience some other man's custom after the serpent ways. So that's heavy that you bring that out.
Most High Christ, and that's exactly like that spirit, that same spirit that you just described in the Garden of Eden, in Eden, Salakia. That's the same spirit that's out in the world now. Right. Like that's your oppressor, and your Christian pastors are the liaison between your oppressor and the Lord's chosen people. I mean, that's why even if you not a Christian, you don't identify as Christian, you might be full out Buddhist. You a Buddhist, but what's it called? December 25th, you gonna have that tree in your house. Right. You know what I mean? Like a sister, you know what I mean? A sister won't even consider being LGBTQ, but like, you know what I mean? Part of the experimentation process is experimenting with that LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? That's why, because Christianity is everywhere. Right. Like, so even if you leave that Christian church, you gotta be aware that you're taking Christianity with you. That's why it's important to get counsel. That's why it's important to, you know what I mean, ask questions, to be in class, you know what I mean, to take brothers to counsel. Because Christianity is, you just came out of Christianity. You came out of a sea of Christianity. When you came up through them doors, you came out from a flood of Christianity. and it's in you. It's coming out your pores. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to ask that question. You know what I mean, because a Christian, even though the words right there in Romans 3:23, it says, "For all have sinned," even though the words say, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God," a Christian, when they regurgitate it, they read it as, we can sin now, and we can continue to sin now, and we should continue to sin now. You know what I mean? Where was we at? Oh, so like you got that Bible shop.
This is the book of John, chapter. It's like it. This is the book of First John, chapter 5, and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments.
So this is the only way that you love God, and this is in the New Testament for you Christians. I mean, but this is the only way that you love God is by keeping His commandments. It's like you go ahead, read on.
And His commandments are not grievous.
And His commandments are not grievous. I just like a bar, if you don't mind, look up the word grievous. You know what the word grievous means? Or let's go ahead and get it in just so we can, just so the people watching online. And this is another trick of the Christian church, where the Christian church will try to, they'll make it, like we was talking about before, they'll make it impossible. You know what I mean? That's why that's why the Trinity exists. Because the Trinity, if you believe that the Most High and Christ are the same, then you won't look at Christ as a black man, you know what I mean, who was born in the ghettos of Nazareth, like you was born in the ghettos of whatever hood you was born in. You know what I mean? You won't look at Christ as a black man who was born to two, you know what I mean, what's it called? What's the word? What's the name? Joseph and Mary, you know what I mean? They was espoused, but before they came together, Mary was Joseph's baby mama. Right. You know what I mean? Like you don't look, if you believe what the Christian church wants you to believe, you won't be able to see those things. Right. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what Isaiah is about. Go ahead. What was somebody? Oh, you was holding the definition of grievous.
To mourn, to hurt, pain.
So the keeping the commandments of the Most High God is not painful. But you know what your Christian pastors would have you believe? That not only is it painful, but it's impossible. You know what I mean? And believing that what helps them help make you believe that keeping the commandments of the Most High God is impossible is they make the one man that actually did it into God. They make him a God. You know what I mean? So now you look at Christ and you don't look at Christ like he came out like you look at Moneybag Yo, or you go to I know Moneybag Yo about 10 years in the past. Salakio. What's the modern rapper brothers be listening to? You look at Lil Baby, you know what I mean? And you like, he from Atlanta, right? He from Atlanta just like me. You know what I mean? You look at people like, you know what I mean, who you look at Mo3, you're like, oh, he from Dallas. Well, he from Louisiana or Dallas. Where he from? He from Dallas? Okay, yeah. You're like, he from Dallas just like me. You know what I mean? You look at all the rappers that come from Houston, you're like, he from Houston just like me. So you grow up in Houston, you know what I mean? You grew up in 3rd Ward, you grew up in 5th Ward, you know what I mean? You see all these rappers, and you see all these entertainers that grew up in the same area that you grew up in. You get inspired by that. You get galvanized by that. It was like he grew up in I lived right there in them apartments that he grew up in. So that means I can do what he do. I could do what he did. We get galvanized by these entertainers. Imagine if we knew the true story of Christ. Well, we knew that he grew up in Nazareth, which is a ghetto just like 3rd Ward, 5th Ward. Like it's a ghetto like you know what I mean, over the like you know what I mean, smokestacks in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? And down the way in Cincinnati. Like it's you know what I mean, what's some hoods in Atlanta? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, just like the hood that you grew up in. And like that's how Nazareth was. That's why they asked, what good could come from Nazareth? You know what I mean? But if you knew that Christ was a black man who was raised in the ghetto by, you know what I mean, of, you know what I mean, his father who was a carpenter and his baby mama in the hood, and he became a man who was perfect. Imagine how that would galvanize you. Please.
If I could, now it's heavy what you bringing out, priest, because I never forget. I had a conversation with, you know what I'm saying, somebody like about I would say about 15 years ago, man. And I'm talking to the brother, man. He just got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Kind of younger brother. He was like, man, listen, the only way he was like, yeah, you know, the only way we gonna make it is if we rapping or we playing sports.
God.
And I'm like, damn, like that's it. And what you saying is like you got all these kids now, they aspire to be content creators, the consonants and the, you know what I'm saying, all this stuff because they feel like it's attainable because that's where they come from. You know what I'm saying? So if the Christian church taught the truth about, you know what I'm saying, Christ, that hey, listen, he came from the same hood, the same ghetto just like you did, and you can achieve that level of attainability, like they have to perpetuate their lives. So like
God. Now give him a hand. And that's the whole play right there. Like that's the whole point. Why else do you think that you obviously Christ is a black man? You know what I mean? You look at Revelation, the first chapter, you know what I mean? It says he had feet like bronze that was burnt in a furnace, hair like wool. You know what I mean? He was a black man. He looked and acted like a black man. Even the thing that you see in the Bible, the slang that you see in the Bible, is how black people talk.
right.
You know what I mean? So imagine if you read the Bible and you looked at the Bible like a black man, you know what I mean? And you understood that Christ was a black man. Instead of having that blue-eyed, blonde hair, stringy hair, Caesar Borgia in every Christian church, imagine if you had a black man, you know what I mean? Like you see on that wall right there, you know what I mean? A masculine brother, you know what I mean? You see the things that, you know what I mean? The way Christ carried himself, the way he spoke, the way he stood up for himself, you know what I mean, against the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the way he battled the scholars, you know what I mean, the way he was zealous about the truth, you know what I mean. Like, imagine if you saw that in yourself. Imagine how that would galvanize you, man. So that's the whole reason why they cover the face of Christ and make him a white man. Because now, instead of seeing a strong black brother that went through exactly what you went through the ghettos, went through the struggle, got ostracized just like you know what I mean, came from the same family structure as you know what I mean, looked down on just like you, they gave you a white man. They gave you a white man to look up to as your God. Made him God. But go ahead to Isaiah 7 real quick. And this is to your question as well. Because like what I was talking about earlier, like the book of Isaiah, it's a lot of prophecies concerning Christ. You know what I mean? And the type of man that Christ would be, which again shows you that the dogma that's taught in that Christian church is absolutely untrue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Christ ain't some blue-eyed, blonde hair, white man that fell from the sky, you know what I mean, and was born from God, getting the Most High. So this always baffles me about Christianity as well, like their belief in who Christ is. So they think Christ is God, right? But Christ is the son of Mary, right? And the Most High got Mary pregnant. So the Most High, who is Christ, got Mary pregnant and had Christ. So Christ got his mother pregnant and had himself. Like, the more you think about it, the crazier it sounds. Like, but this is Christianity though. Like, I'm not saying nothing that's strange or foreign to Christians. This is what Christians believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this is what's the most popular religion in the world? What's the most, let me just find it. Religion in the world. I think I got a pie chart right here. The most popular religion in the world, in billions, it says Christians 2.3 billion by a long shot. And then Muslims, not even a close second, 1.8. Unaffiliated, 1.2. That's for your spirituals, your crystals, and your what's the word? Yeah, the spiritual. That's the best word. And then Hindus, 1.1 billion, and then Buddhists, zero point 0.5 billion. I don't know what folk religion is. I guess that's Mormon and all the other. They just grouping these things up now. Like the numbers don't even compare. But the number one religion in the entire world is Christian, and then the not even close second is Muslims. So as crazy as the doctrine of Christianity is, it's the most popular religion in the entire world. And then second to that is Iraq. That's insane. I mean, but go ahead and read what you got. Isaiah 7 and verse 11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 7, and verse 11.
Verse 14. Salakia.
Verse 14. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign.
All right. So this is the prophecy of Christ. This is the prophecy of Christ, and this is because the let me see if I can find it here. But we were so arrogant, man. We were so arrogant. We were so, like we just read in the first chapter, like we had deviated so far from our culture. You know what I mean? That we was just like, we had embodied, like now, again, you can always look at today. You know what I mean? You look at modern culture, modern society. You know what I mean? We so arrogant. We go to these strip clubs. You know what I mean? Our sisters is competing now on how many bodies they can catch in a day. I mean, and LGBTQ running rampant to the point where it's being pushed on our children, and you name it. You know what I mean? We getting glorified for how many bodies we could catch. You know what I mean? How many of our brothers and sisters we could take the life of. You know what I mean? How many you know what I mean, promiscuous women we could sleep with, how much drugs we can do, you know what I mean, all those different things, how evil we can be to one another. You know what I mean, it's the same thing happening right here. So the Most High is about to give you a sign. Go ahead.
Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. I believe in Hebrew that's Amanya Allah, which means the Lord is faithful. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, this is prophesying about Christ. And if you understand our culture and like the classism, like you look in the Christian church, like they put themselves as like the upper class or the upper echelon class of like black people. You know what I mean? And for you to be like top class as a black man, black, Hispanic, or Native American man, you got to go to that, you know what I mean? You got to go to that courthouse, get that piece of paper, put that ring on that woman's finger, and it better not be no cheap ring. And you got to get on one knee and cry and have a public wedding and, you know what I mean, embarrass yourself. And then you got to have a big old wedding, and it better not, you know what I mean? She better have the biggest, prettiest, fluffiest dress and all of that. You know what I mean? That's the culture of like that's the classism of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. You know what I mean? But what's shameful? Having what they call it, having a baby out of wedlock. That's shameful. Where you just got baby mom. What they call it, shacking up. I don't know if they still call it that now, but they used to call it shacking up. You know what I mean? If you don't go to that courthouse and get a piece of paper, you just shacking up. They don't respect, you know what I mean, what marriage is in the Bible. What you got, Aitas Akapor?
Oh, no, to pick up on what you're saying about Christ being born as a man, even in the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21, it says, and she shall bring forth a son. But people, I guess they believe he's some type of demigod, but it says in the book of Matthew, verse 21, and she shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Now, that's important too. That's very important, because that scripture right there cuts the whole notion that that Christ is, like you said, they try to say Christ is a demigod, where he, you know what I mean, he's God on earth. But if Christ is God on earth, then how can he have a people? I mean, and you know, if that's not if the thing I said earlier don't fry your mind enough, you know what I mean? If the Most High is Christ and Christ is the Most High, but the Most High got Mary pregnant, and the Most High Mary is Christ's mother, but also Christ is God. It's just, if that don't fry your mind enough, man, like how can Christ have a people if he's not a man? You know what I mean? That's where lineage comes from. You know what I mean? It comes from men, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I mean? Like it says in Numbers 1:18. You know what I mean? We are called by the name of our fathers. You know what I mean? We're organized by tribe by the name of our fathers. You know what I mean? That's how your lineage is. That's how your lineage is called. That's how you know who you are. If you don't have a father, if you don't have an earthly father, then how can you have a people? You was about to say something?
Oh yeah, if I could, preach what you bringing out is heavy because Christ, you know what I'm saying? They said Christ was from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So do you just ask the Christian, well, what tribe is God from?
Right.
You understand? Like,
Right.
it makes no sense. Like,
No, Christ or the Most High don't have a tribe. Like, I would love to hear. I mean, I know Christians are the experts in the Bible, so I would love to hear what a Christian has to say about that, or what their answer would be to that. But last time I checked, I mean, Most High don't have a tribe. You know what I mean? So for Christ to have a tribe, he has to have a father. You know what I mean? Which means he has to be a man and not God. Right. I mean, Christianity is just silly. But you got to remember, you came from Christianity. Christianity is right there. You open them doors right there. You open that door and step right outside. Christianity right there. Right. It's in the air. It's in the air. It's coming out the walls. You know what I mean? As soon as you step right there, you're gonna turn to your left, and it's gonna be a Christian right there, ready to discourage you, ready to battle you. You know what I mean? You walking out with that shield on your chest. It's gonna be Christians wondering what that is. You go to the grocery store, it's gonna be a Christian ringing up your groceries. Right. You know what I mean? You turn on TV, it's gonna be Christianity right there. Turn on music, Christianity. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. So that's why it's important to constantly be studying, constantly be reading, constantly be asking questions. You know what I mean? Because we got to purge that Christianity out of you. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Where you at in Isaiah? Isaiah 7 and you can start at verse 15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 7, verse 15. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good.
So this is Christ is this prophecy about Christ. It's talking about he's just gonna be raised right. You know what I mean? He's gonna be raised in the same ghetto. He's gonna be raised in the same condition that you was. You know what I mean? He's gonna be raised just like you was. He's gonna be from the same people that you are, but he's gonna be raised right. He's gonna eat butter and honey. What did you have to eat when you was growing up? I mean, you had to eat Christianity. That was the first thing you was fed when you was growing up. You know what I mean? Even if you think of like, cause this is spiritual, of course, but even if you think physically, like, what did you have to eat growing up? You about to say something, Ike Zagabor? I saw you grab.
Oh, Salagin, I was gonna say shit. Nigga grew up eating Serb sandwiches and bologna and shit.
Yeah. That's a perfect example. Like we grew up eating, you know what I mean? We grew up eating poverty. You had to eat like how can I put this? It's like for brothers say, like you take a loss, right? There ain't nothing you could do about it. What do they say? They say you gotta eat that. You know what I mean? Or somebody steal you in your jaw. They say, oh, I eat those. That's what this is talking about. Like what you eat is what you had to. You ain't had no choice but to be poor when you was growing up. You know what I mean? That's what this is talking about. You know what I mean? Well, you ain't had no choice but to eat poverty. You ain't had no choice but to eat Christianity. You ain't have no choice but to eat, you know what I mean, how it feels to be living in a single family household with no father, your mother's a monster, or vice versa. You know what I mean? You might have none of your parents. I mean, General Mahan was just describing how, you know what I mean, the drug epidemic affected him and his family. You know what I mean? He ain't had no choice but to eat that. You know what I mean? You got to wake up and you got to bar your house up to protect yourself from robbers and drug addicts. You know what I mean? Or if your life is in danger, you also got to depend on a drug addict to save your life when nobody else is available to you. When we see our brothers and sisters getting their lives taken on the internet, you know what I mean? I think it was just another brother. I can't remember the brother's name. But in Mississippi, the brother was on a bike and he was being assaulted. You know what I mean? He was being attacked by 3 white men. And when the police pulled up, I mean, I think he ended up opening fire on one of them. And he got taken into custody. I mean, we got to eat that. We got to see those types of things on the internet and we just got to eat that because there ain't no power in our hands. You know what I mean? The fact that Trump did away with DEI or, you know what I mean, he's mass deporting Hispanics right now. We just got to eat that. But Christ, he going to eat butter and honey. You know what I mean? We got to eat poverty. We got to eat, you know what I mean, low income housing, Section 8. We got to eat underfunded schools. We got to eat not having our culture. But Christ is going to eat the best. He's going to be raised correctly. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 16, before the child shall know to refuse evil and choose the good, the land of thou adort a horse shall be forsaken of both her kings.
Go ahead.
Verse 17, the Lord shall bring upon thee and upon thy people and upon thy father's house days that have not come from the day that Ephraim depart from Judah, even the king of Ashur, Assyria, Salakia. Verse 18.
So the whole point of this is, you know what I mean, that Christ is going to be raised up and he's going to be the one that unifies blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? And get us out of this condition. You know what I mean? But that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole reason why it's so evil that your Christian pastors, you know what I mean, under your oppressor has convinced blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we, you know what I mean, that Christ is the white man and we all should serve him. You know what I mean? That's why it's so evil where, you know what I mean, it was just, I just saw something from, what's his name? Charleston White, where every time I look up and I saw a video of him, you know what I mean? He had the whole, he had the Make America Great Again hat. He had the MAGA hat on. He had the Confederate flag scarf with the Confederate flag shirt on. And he talking about how, you know what I mean, black folks ain't nothing and how we the most disgusting and destructive people and this, that, and the third. That's why it's so evil when all those things get pushed into the, you know what I mean, into the faces of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because we need something that's going to give us hope. We need something that's going to, you know what I mean, and it's right here in this Bible. You know what I mean? We need something that's going to galvanize blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's going to put some courage in your chest. When instead we get some blue-eyed, blonde-haired devil that, you know what I mean, the real image of Christ Caesar Borgia was I'm trying to be careful how I say this. He was you know what I mean, he was an unaliver and a sexual deviant and a LGBTQ member, you know what I mean? And I mean, that's the image that you got to look up to. Meanwhile, Christ was an austere man. He was an austere black man who was put on earth to galvanize you and bring blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans together. I mean, it's like you ain't no questions or anything in the chat. Okay, no sweat. Ike Zagabar, you had any more questions before we close out? Okay, no sweat. Good night. But that's why it's so that's why it's so important. You know what I mean? Even the milk. You know what I mean? You come in here and you learn the milk that's in these scriptures, then you are, you know what I mean, you about 10 steps ahead of every other Christian and every other Christian pastor, you know what I mean, outside of these four walls, man. Outside of this banner under ISUPK. I mean, because you understand things that your Christian pastors don't understand. You take the milk to your Christian pastor, and they're gonna do the Christian, yeah, they're gonna do the Christian shuffle on you. You know what I mean? They're gonna start to do mental gymnastics and try to convince you that, you know what I mean, all of the garbage that they've been teaching in that Christian church that they've been taught by the oppressor. They're gonna try to do all the mental gymnastics that they can to try to uphold what they've been taught since all the garbage that they've been fed since birth, rather than what they're actually reading in this Bible, man. You know what I mean? But you come up in here in the ISUBK, you start off with the milk scriptures. You start off with, you know what I mean, the basics, and you know what I mean, you're gonna have a good foundation of learning your culture. What you got, Itazak?
Kind of one con, man. It's just heavy what you brought out, man. That the foundation of the Christian church come from the oppressor, come from us being colonized and being taught their ways of the Bible. But like you say here in the ISUBK, our foundation and structure is complete different, man. Us coming understanding that the oppressor have and colonized us, and that the true history in the Bible that we putting out is nothing like the Christian church, is far from our oppressor and what they taught and installed in us from the Christian church.
God, now damn right, give him a hand. If you don't mind, just look up supervised plantation churches, and that's gonna illustrate exactly what you just said, Aita Zagabar. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you're able to put that image that just was that's a popular image of like Christian. Basically, that's where the Christian church came from. If you don't mind sharing that. But that's where the Christian church started off at. You that image look familiar, Aita Zagabar? Where you see the pastor behind the pulpit, and they doing all that hooting and hollering, and God said, and love thine enemy, and God loves everybody, and all of that garbage. And guess who's sitting right there, making sure that you saying all that nonsense and that coonery and that tomfoolery that you supposed to say. Right there in the middle, you see your oppressor sitting there, monitoring the Christian church. That's where Christianity comes from. Comes from that right there. Now, it got a synopsis, a little breakdown. Let me see if I can. Aita Zagabar, you able to look that up? Supervised plantation churches. Okay. Do you, if you look in Google, it'll have like an AI overview, and that should give you everything you need right there. But that's where Christianity comes from. Oh, please go ahead.
This is from ChristianHistoryInstitute.org. Slaves frequently were moved to hold their own religious meetings out of disgust for the vitiated gospel preached by their masters' preachers. Lucretia Alexander explained what slaves did when they grew tired of white folks' preachers. The preacher came. Let me just click on. Let me see. I don't know. If that's what you're looking for.
Now that's after. Like that sounds more like what's his name? Like Denmark Vesey and what's the other brother? The popular brother that revolted, Nat Turner. Yeah, that sounds like because what they saying is correct. Like black people started to read the Bible and see that what they were reading was very different than what they was being taught in that Christian church. You know what I mean? So or not Christians, black people started to have secret church I'm gonna get to it in a second. Well, black people started to have secret meetings, you know what I mean, where they would read the Bible and learn what's actually in the Bible, you know what I mean, and that started to incite insurrection and revolution, you know what I mean, from our oppressor who taught us, you know what I mean, the skewed version of Christianity. All right, what you got, Aita Zagabar?
They say they were called invisible churches.
Invisible churches. That sounds like after. Read this right here. Uh, read this right here.
I guess.
Supervised churches and the institution of slavery during the era of slavery in the United States. Enslaved African Americans often experienced Christianity and churches under the close watch of white slaveholders.
Under what?
Under the close watch of white slaveholders.
So you couldn't, if you was reading the Bible, you could not read the Bible. You could not study you gonna read it just a little bit more. When you was first learning about the Bible, you couldn't read the Bible without the close watch of slaveholders. So while you was already a slave, you couldn't even read the Bible without the close supervision of your oppressor. Hence the name supervised plantation churches. Now go ahead, read on.
Here's how the supervision manifested. Filtered messages. The masters often felt
read that first part again.
Here's how the supervision manifested. Filtered messages.
What kind of messages?
Filtered messages.
So what you getting out of that Christian church is what?
A filtered message.
That's what you getting out of that Christian church. So when the Most High, or when the Christian pastor says God loves everybody, what is that?
A filtered message.
When you say Christ ain't got no color, that's a what?
Filtered message.
When they tell you to celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and all these different holidays, what does that say?
A filtered message.
You're getting a filtered message, because I guarantee you can't find none of those things in the Bible. Not the way that you think you can. You see Christmas, you look up Christmas in the Bible, and you're going to find out that the Most High hates it. You look up all your feast days and your solemn assemblies, you're going to find out that the Most High hates those things.
Right.
If you actually read the Bible for what it is. But we couldn't do that because we were supervised by our oppressor, which is how we got Christianity, which is go ahead.
Filtered message.
The filtered message. Go ahead.
Masters often felt responsible for their enslaved people's spiritual being, but also were concerned about the potential for religious messages to inspire rebellion.
Why would to inspire what?
Inspire rebellion.
So why would blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans read the Bible, and then your slave master be in fear that it would inspire rebellion? You got an answer?
Because it was something in there besides the filtered message. It was something more important that they weren't telling them.
Absolutely, you damn right. And maybe the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans would read the Bible and be inspired to revolt, because maybe the Bible is a revolutionary book.
Right.
Just maybe, I don't know. Because before that, you know what I mean, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you would get your eyes burned out of your head and your tongue melted out of your mouth for wanting to read right.
Right.
You know what I mean? You would be, you know what I mean, hobbled. You know what I mean? You would have your arms and your legs cut off. You would be, you know what I mean? They would do something diabolical to you if you even had the gall to even raise up against your oppressor. You know what I mean? Maybe the Bible isn't as soft as your Christian pastors want you to believe. And that was the whole purpose of the the supervised plantation churches. Because if you actually read this Bible by itself, you know what I mean, you will see that what they were telling you the Bible is saying isn't actually what's in this Bible at all. You know what I mean? Where it says God loves everybody, you read Romans 9 and 13. It says, Esau have I, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. You read Isaiah, you know what I mean, the 14th chapter, and it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. You know what I mean? That he shall in Revelations, I believe what is the 15th chapter? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You start to read things like that,
Right.
and then you start to see, okay, well, who led into captivity?
Right.
If you read, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity while you're in captivity, what do you think that's gonna do to you? Right. If you read, prepare slaughter, go ahead, Isaiah 14 and 1. Baba Kashai. If you read, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity while you're in captivity. What do you think that's gonna do to you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man? You're gonna look at your captors like what's his name? What's the old buddy from Anthony Mackie? The boy when he be you know what I'm talking about? His facial expression, it might be a young I don't know. It's a joke where his face, you know what I mean? When his face look like he knows something about you, and he just like every time he look at you, he just like,
Oh yeah, okay,
you know what I'm talking about? Like that's how you would look at your oppressor. If you was in captivity, reading, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity," that's how you gonna be looking. That's how you gonna be looking at your oppressor. Like you know something that he don't know. Like you know something about him that he don't know about himself. While they trying to make you pick cotton, you can be like, all right, no sweat, no sweat, no sweat. I'm gonna go to. That's how we are. You know what I mean? We go to our jobs. You know what I mean? We go to our That's the word. Right there. You go to your jobs. You know what I mean? You go to your job and you like yo oppressor want to put his knee on your neck. He want to put his boot on your back, and he want to be like, drop them fries. He wants you to come in early, stay late, and no overtime for you. He want to try to you know what I mean? He wants you to do 5 jobs to get paid for one. You know what I mean? Up in here in the ISUPK, we just like, all right, no sweat. That's what you want. You know what I mean? Because we know that he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. You know what I mean? So we patiently, you know what I mean, we working and patiently waiting. You know what I mean? We go to our slavers, we go to our jobs, you know what I mean? We do what we gotta do. But you know what I mean, on the weekends, we prophesying against this evil kingdom because we know it's falling, man.
Right.
If you ain't got that hope, you're gonna be ready to jump off a bridge. You know what I mean? You're gonna be ready to, you know what I mean, sell drugs. You're gonna be ready to do anything that you can to get up out of this kingdom the way that your oppressor taught you how. Right. You're gonna be ready to, you know what I mean, get on OnlyFans and sell your body, sister. You know what I mean? You ain't got that patience and faith, you ain't got that hope. You know what I mean? You're gonna be ready to, you know what I mean, do them drugs. You're gonna want to get high every day because in your mind, because of the Christian church and what they taught you, you're gonna think that this is your only escape. You know what I mean? You're going to find your escape in the bottom of a bottle. You know what I mean? Or on the end of that blunt. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read what you got, Aitas Akabor.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and he will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land.
Mm-hmm. Now, I already told you the book of Isaiah is full of prophecies. Go ahead. And this is the prophecy of the condition of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The changing of the guard, where your oppressor is on top, but the people on top are going to go to the bottom.
Right.
And the people on the bottom are going to go to the top. What you're reading right now is revolution. This is the very definition of revolution. Go ahead.
And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for the servants and handmaids.
No, for equals and wives and husbands and family.
For the servants and handmaids.
No, we all equal. We are the world. We are the children. What'd I say?
For servants and handmaids.
No, we just try. What Martin Luther King was striving for? We all. I have a dream that one day we all be equal. This, that, and the third. Read that again.
For servants and
What the
handmaids.
founding fathers say? We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. While you was a slave, while you was 3/5 of a man. What did that say?
For servants and
The
handmaids.
Most High does not believe in equality, and that's why these under these supervised plantation churches, they was afraid that if you read the Bible all on your own, then it would incite revolution, because the Bible is a revolutionary book. Go ahead, read on.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Now imagine reading this as a slave, and imagine reading this as you're on those slave ships as a captive. You'll understand that you're going to take them captives because you're their captive right now. Imagine the brothers and sisters who's being invaded by ICE agents if they had this scripture and they read this and they understand as they're being taken captive, they're going to be taken captive, and you're their slave right now. Imagine if you had this and you would understand that through the Lord's revolution, they would be your slaves. You would take them captives, whose captives you are right now today. That would absolutely start a revolution. So I understand why your oppressor is so afraid of the Bible, and I understand why your Christian pastors are so terrified to teach the truth according to the Bible. But right now, it's time for us to get rid of that fear, man. Right. It's time for us to get rid of that and put on masculinity, man. Come back to our culture. Come back to what's actually in this Bible. You know what I mean? And use the same thing, because your oppressor is afraid of this Bible, man. Use that same thing that has terrified your oppressor, you know what I mean, for years. So much so that they have what's the word? They have forbidden you from learning your culture, man. Ain't no questions or comments in the chat. What time? Oh no, okay, most correct. All right, with that, we're gonna end the class right there. I'm gonna say shalom to the brothers. Before you do that, make sure you. Or actually, with that, we're gonna pass the class over to Trooper Itazaka Bar for the security announcements.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. If there is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Book of Numbers chapter 18 verse 21, Book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 through 10, which means tenth in the Hebrew, masharah. 10% of every penny the Lord gives you, give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, memorial blowing of the trumpets, September 21st, Sunday, 2025. Book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Reminder, Akim and Akwaf to check bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. This concludes the ISUPK security announcements.
All right, with that, you know what I mean, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, whatever platform you're watching on. Make sure you share it with all your loved ones, you know what I mean, your brothers, your sisters, mothers, fathers, all of that, friends. You know what I mean? Even if you disagree, make sure you share it. You know what I mean? Get up in these comments. You know what I mean? You hecklers have become a lot less bold. Right. You know what I mean? It's starting to look like what Commander General Yohana said was right. Right. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I ain't gonna drag the class on too long. You know what I mean? If you got any, you know what I mean, as we end the class, if you got any additional questions or comments, you can hit that QR code in the top corner. And morning, noon, and night, there'll be a brother in that chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. With that, I Madyam, which means to stand. We give a courtesy salute to the brothers. The visual reminder Shabbat. I Madyam, Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah. Yadi Matah. Sorry, we're going to turn our face to sisters. Give a courtesy salute to the sisters. The visual reminder Shabbat. I Madyam, Barak.
Yahweh Shema, the Thumb by Shem Yahweh Shah.
Yadi Matah. Bless.